Hi, I'm Kyler, and today we're going to be installing our KAGE WingLine on this city dump truck. When you get your WingLine kit, you're going to have this extension wire, you're going to have the normally closed and normally open switches, you're going to have your hose clamps, your laser tube, your ram mount, your harness, and your laser, your rubber strips, your zip ties, and your wire mounts. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be putting our electromagnetic switch on our wing cylinder so that when the wing is up, our laser automatically turns off. So you're going to have two switch options. You're going to have a normally closed and a normally open switch. We're going to be using the normally closed so that when the two magnets are touching each other, the light knows to be off. The normally open is when they're not touching, it would be off. Since this cylinder retracts to put the wing up, we're going to want normally closed so that when these two switches touch, it'll be shut off. So we're dealing with a pretty big cylinder here, so we're going to take our extra hose clamp and we're going to add it onto this one to make it extra long. Then we'll mount this onto our cylinder. So our electronic switch is going to be bolted to this one, and our magnet is going to be bolted to the rod end. So your WingLine kit is going to come with all these rubber strips. What these do is they add on to the size of your rod so that when you put the other hose clamp on, it's at the same level as your bore. So now we're going to wrap these around the rod and put our hose clamp over it. Now that we have this hose clamp mounted on, we're going to be mounting our switch. That'll just go over these bolts, and then we have nuts. Run them down. This is a 1/4 inch socket. Now that switch is mounted. So after you have all these rubber strips hose clamped in, it'll help to spray Windex or something in all the rubber to help it lubricate it and be able to slide the hose clamp around. So now we're going to slide this hose clamp and all these rubber strips till we get the right height to match this switch. So that's at a good spot in the rubber now. So now we're going to tighten this hose clamp so that these two touch each other, or just about touch each other. Now your switch is done. So up here in the cab, we're going to take our wire harness and we're going to plug it into 12-volt power. That plug happens to be right here on this truck. Then we're going to want to mount our laser. So you're going to mount the ram mount just up in the top corner of your cab, and then you'll find out the best spot for you. Then you can stick your laser in it. So on your harness here, you're going to see that you have two different plugs. One says to laser and one says to firewall. So the one that says to laser is going to go straight up and plug into here. The one that says to firewall is going to run out to your switch using that extension harness that is provided. So we're going to plug in the to laser. So now when you flip this switch, this laser will be activated. So after you have the laser in, you're gonna take your extension harness, run this down through your firewall and run it the best way that you can out to your switch. So here's our extension harness that plugs in the 2 firewall plug up in the cab. We've run this all the way down through the truck. Now we're gonna be running it along the cylinder. And this will plug right into our switch. And now that's done. So now with our switch being turned off, we'll have the laser on, the plow down. Now we're gonna go ahead and pick the plow up, and when that switch touches, the laser will automatically turn off. So the laser's off, and those 2 switches on the cylinder touched. So now we're gonna put the plow back down. They get far apart from each other and the laser automatically turns back on. So now if you do want to override this, right now our plow is up, our laser's off. If you go ahead on the switch and you just turn power on, it'll turn the laser on. So you don't actually need to use that magnetic switch if you don't want to. You can just use the switch provided. Now we're gonna want to go straight along the curb with the plow all the way out, just like touching it. Okay, you can put the plow all the way down. So now to adjust the laser, we have this curb line here. So we're gonna take our truck, drive it right parallel with the curb, put the plow all the way out just until it kisses the curb. Then you'll adjust your laser to be right on the curb, because that's how you know that you're straight and you're out at the right length. So you might find that you want to adjust that when it's darker. So our laser is right here. It's a little bit difficult to see when there's no snow and in this puddle, but we know that we have it set right because you can see it from up in the cab. Next, we're gonna go up and we're gonna put our light tunnel in so that the reflection of the laser doesn't shine back in your eyes when you're driving. Okay, so we have this provided laser tunnel here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in front of our laser. It's gonna slide right over it. The laser's gonna go in this hole. And we're just gonna cut it to length and in line with the windshield so that this doesn't happen. This laser's coming back in. That looks like about the right length. You can cut it to the right angle of the windshield. Now your laser is still shining out, but you don't have any reflection back into the cab. Looks like that did it.